Imagine you're standing in front of a caveman. You point at your shoes and say, "These are sneakers." The caveman looks confused. Then you tell him that some people spend hundreds of dollars on them. Now he's even more confused. Then you explain that some sneakers are collected like treasure. Some are never even worn. And some sell for more money than an entire house from his time. At this point, the caveman would probably think you've completely lost your mind. Because for most of human history, shoes weren't about looking cool, they weren't about fashion, and they definitely weren't about showing off. Shoes existed for one simple reason: to stop people from destroying their feet. And the journey from bare feet to modern sneakers is way crazier than you might think. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Before brands, before stores, before shoes, before literally everything. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans walked completely barefoot. No sandals, no boots, no sneakers, nothing. Just skin against the ground. At first, this sounds painful, and honestly, it probably was. But ancient humans were very different from us. Today, many people complain when they step on a tiny pebble. Ancient humans walked across forests, mountains, deserts, and rocky terrain every single day. Their feet became incredibly tough. The skin on their soles was thicker than ours. Walking barefoot wasn't unusual. It was normal. But even the toughest feet have limits. Imagine walking through a freezing snowstorm barefoot, or crossing a desert where the ground feels like a giant frying pan, or stepping on sharp rocks and thorns every day. Sooner or later, humans realized something important. Maybe putting something between our feet and the ground isn't a bad idea. And that's exactly where the first shoes were born. Except, they didn't really look like shoes. The earliest footwear was probably made from whatever people could find nearby. Large leaves, grass, plant fibers, animal fur. Basically, ancient humans looked around and thought, what can I wrap around my feet so they stop hurting? It wasn't fancy, it wasn't stylish, but it worked. For the first time, people could protect their feet from harsh environments. And that small change had a huge impact, because protected feet meant longer journeys. Longer journeys meant more exploration, and more exploration helped humans spread across the world. It's funny to think about. One of the biggest reasons humans conquered the planet might be because someone got tired of stepping on sharp rocks. As time passed, humans became better hunters. This gave them access to something much stronger than leaves: animal skin. Leather was a game changer. Unlike plants, it lasted longer. It was flexible. It could handle rough terrain. And most importantly, it protected feet much better. People started creating simple leather shoes by wrapping hides around their feet and tying them with strips of leather. These shoes weren't beautiful, but they were effective. And in the ancient world, effectiveness was all that mattered. Survival came first. Fashion didn't even make the list. But eventually, something interesting happened. Humans stopped worrying only about survival. Villages became towns, towns became cities, civilization started growing, and suddenly, people had a little more time to think about appearance. Shoes slowly transformed from a survival tool into something else: a status symbol. In many ancient civilizations, rich people wore different footwear than everyone else. The better your shoes looked, the more important you seemed. Sound familiar? Thousands of years later, not much has changed. Today, some people buy expensive sneakers to impress others. Ancient people did pretty much the same thing. The only difference is that their version of luxury footwear didn't have a giant logo on the side. As civilizations grew, shoe designs became more advanced. Different regions created different styles. People living in hot deserts preferred open sandals. People living in cold climates created warm boots lined with fur. Mountain regions needed stronger footwear. Every environment pushed humans to invent something new. Shoes were evolving alongside civilization itself. Then came one of the biggest shoe upgrades in history: armies. Think about ancient soldiers. Some marched hundreds or even thousands of kilometers. Bad shoes could ruin an entire army. Blisters, cuts, injuries, infections. A soldier with damaged feet couldn't fight effectively. Military leaders quickly realized this. If you wanted a strong army, you needed strong footwear. So shoe technology improved. Better materials, better designs, better durability. Interestingly, many improvements made for soldiers eventually spread to ordinary people. The military accidentally helped shape the future of footwear. For thousands of years, every shoe was made by hand. Imagine needing several days just to make one pair. That's how things worked. Shoes were valuable possessions. People repaired them again and again. Throwing away shoes would have sounded ridiculous. Today, some people replace shoes because they're bored of them. Ancient humans would probably faint if they heard that. Then came the Industrial Revolution, and everything changed. Machines entered the picture. Factories began producing shoes faster than ever before. What once took days could now take hours. For the first time, footwear became affordable for huge numbers of people. Suddenly, owning shoes wasn't a luxury. It became normal. But the biggest surprise was still waiting. Rubber. This material completely transformed footwear. Rubber soles provided grip, flexibility, comfort, and durability. People could walk farther and more comfortably than ever before. Without rubber, modern sneakers probably wouldn't exist. And that's where the story starts getting really interesting. Because shoes stopped being just protection. They started becoming performance tools. Athletes wanted better footwear. Runners wanted speed. Basketball players wanted support. People wanted shoes designed for specific activities. Manufacturers started experimenting. They made shoes lighter, more flexible, more comfortable. Every year brought new innovations, and eventually, the modern sneaker was born. At first, sneakers were mainly used for sports. But then something unexpected happened. People started wearing them everywhere. Not because they needed to, because they wanted to. Sneakers escaped the sports field and entered everyday life. Movies helped, athletes helped, musicians helped, celebrities helped. Suddenly, sneakers weren't just shoes. They were culture. Entire communities formed around them. Some people collected sneakers, others traded them. Some treated them like works of art. Imagine explaining this to a caveman. These shoes are so special that I keep them in a box and never wear them. The caveman would stare at you and ask, then what's the point of the shoes? Honestly, that's a fair question. Today, the sneaker industry is worth billions of dollars. Companies compete to create the most comfortable, stylish, and advanced footwear possible. Some sneakers contain special foam that returns energy while you walk. Others use lightweight materials inspired by aerospace technology. Some are designed using powerful computers, and some are even made with 3D printers. Think about how crazy that is. Humans started with leaves tied to their feet. Now we're printing shoes using machines. That's not evolution. That's a massive upgrade. But despite all these advancements, the basic goal remains exactly the same as it was thousands of years ago. Protect the foot. That's it. Every innovation, every design, every sneaker, every boot, every sandal, they all exist because humans wanted to walk more comfortably. And maybe that's what makes this story so fascinating. The journey from barefoot humans to modern sneaker culture wasn't planned. It happened one step at a time. A leaf became a sandal became a leather shoe became a boot became an athletic shoe, and eventually athletic shoes became the sneakers we know today. All because someone somewhere got tired of hurting their feet. So the next time you put on your sneakers, take a second to appreciate them. Because you're wearing the result of thousands of years of experimentation, creativity, and human innovation. And if a caveman somehow appeared beside you today, he'd probably be amazed. Not because of the design, not because of the brand, not because of the price, but because after thousands of years, humans are still trying to solve the exact same problem. How do we make walking a little easier? Apparently, our answer was sneakers.